Hello class, my name is Tyler Edwards and today I'm going to be going over my final project for IT 415. The topic I chose was sports related because I'm a big sports fan and I watch many different sports. The sport I chose was football, and the reason why I chose it is because they have many different data sets coming around every week and it's easy to track them, and find different trends and ongoing methods on what's going on around the league. Where I got my data from, I got my data from ESPN.com, which is one of the best sources for sports and the most popular by far. The visualization tool I used was Google Charts, and the different graphs I used include stuff such as area charts, I used bar charts, and then I used a bubble chart. And how my visualization works. So here's my visualization right here. I have my charts right here. I have the passing yards leader, which is essentially a area chart which can break down week by week what each quarterback does in terms of passing yards, and it gives a certain trending arrow to see who's going up and who's going down. For example, you can take Lamar Jackson, and he is on an upbeat trend going all the way up to week 5, and then he dips a large amount, and then he starts to build his repertoire back up. I have my bubble chart, which you can go week by week. It's under initials. So, for example, if you're looking for Derek Carr's 7th week, you go right here, in which he threw for completion percentage of 91. So he completed 91% of the throws that he made, which is very impressive because it's a big outlier on this chart itself. And it basically breaks down each week in terms of a bubble for each player and their week. And you have here Stafford, who had the highest passing rating of 156.1. The second closest was Tom Brady of 144.4. In terms of the in terms of the two bar charts I had, you have one for passing touchdowns week by week. Basically, what it'd do is it would break down each passing touchdown individually per week. So, for example, Brady had 4 in week 1. He had 5 in week 2, which is the highest amount tied with Patrick Mahomes in terms of 1 week itself. And Brady's done that twice. So that's very impressive to do. And the last one is passing interceptions week by week, which is the same thing except for it breaks it down by interceptions. Now, in terms of my findings and what I've seen in terms of trends, well, the passing yards leader graph helps to trend how a player is doing in terms of passing yards and whether or not they are getting better as the season goes on or getting worse. So, for example, you have somebody like Joe Burrow, for example. He started going down, and then he started ever since constantly climbing, except for this week where he was kind of in the middle, stuck there. And then you have players such as Matthew Stafford, who just goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, goes down. Like it's influx. And for in terms of the bubble chart, it helps you break down which games are outliers, which games certainly trend to not the norm. So you'd think the norm is normally like somewhere around here in this little middle area. So you have struggling games such as 48.4 completion percentage, or you have a struggling game in terms of passing rating, 62.3, very low. And then you have these outliers such as the Matthew Stafford week 1 or the Derek Carr week 7, where it's just completely out of proportion, outlying. And lastly, for the two bar charts, the touchdowns, the higher they are, the better the quarterback is doing this season. So Lamar Jackson is currently only getting basically around 1 to maybe 2 touchdowns a week. Not too good for a quarterback. But you have Tom Brady who's getting all the way up to 20 plus already in terms of just week 7 alone. That's very impressive. And the lower the interceptions are, the better actually. So you'd want them to be low. So this high amount already being at 9 in 7 weeks is very concerning. And low ones such as Tom Brady, who's currently the MVP favorite most valuable player, only has 3. Very good. And other than that, some other things I'd like to show. I'd like to show the Excel data that I have worked extensively on and my code, which has about up to 200 lines on it. And with all that being said, I hope you all have a great day.